Hey, you got Adam from Outlier. I'm just gonna jump right into it. I have one of my best friends, oldest friends of 25 plus years. My favorite person to both jaw with and eat crap from is my guy Shawn Hardie from Knicks Film School, also resident Ravens fan. Shawn, how you doing?
I'm good. Happy Thursday. Happy football Thursday. Happy week 2 for those who celebrate and those who do not. I don't know what's wrong with you. Get with the program.
Well, and for those who are going to watch this, you get to watch this on Friday. So anything that we think for Thursday, you don't even get to worry about. Shawn, first thing I wanted to ask you, your team, who I didn't even know. Well, there's a thing I didn't even know about the hire that they made for Hardie that you told me about. But tell me what you thought of your team after the week 1.
I think we should have won. I think if Nelson Aguilar decides to block on that 4th down or do anything,
if Nelson Aguilar did X, how many times have we heard that story?
Yes. Eagles fans know, Ravens fans know, Pats fans know, everyone knows. That's a touchdown. But listen, afterwards there's the whole Lamar can't beat Patrick, the Chiefs on that. The Ravens were some better play calling and a toe in from having a chance to win the game. So I will not jump out the window and cry the sky's falling because we lost to the back-to-back defending champs. Right. Like Patrick Mahomes can't be Michael Jordan of football and the Chiefs are this unstoppable juggernaut. But then how dare you lose to the Chiefs? So I'm not worried. And we have a good get-right game as we stay in the AFC West this upcoming Sunday against the Raiders of Las Vegas.
With that, let's take a look at it and see. I can tell you this. They are going to be a very popular survivor pick. Ravens right now seeing 9. What do you think? Mm-hmm. Is this something that your guys can cover? How would you attack a side bet on this, if at all?
Oh, if I'm gonna bet a side, I'd actually think about an alt bet. Like Ravens giving 13, 13 and a half, things like that. I don't expect this game to be close. I think the Raiders have a bottom 5 quarterback position. Josh Jacobs no longer there. I'm not sure about Antonio Pierce, and this could be a rout. Throw him in listen, I know. Throw them in a 3-team teaser. You want to go old school and pay 160 juice on a 3-teamer, you go right ahead. Throw them in there. The Ravens have not gone. The last time the Ravens went 0-2 was 2015. That season they finished 5-11. Before that, the last time they started the season 0-2 was 2005, and that was Kyle Bowler quarterback. So if you think this Ravens team is any good, they're going to win this game. And like I said, this is the get right opponent after a tough start against the world champs in their building on Thursday.
It's a good schedule spot for them. I think it's a lot of points. I think it's a lot of points. I'm not taking the Ravens in Survivor. They're going to be a very popular Survivor pick. If I had to take a side on it now, I would probably do the same way as you. It's that it's an all or nothing, and it's a line that's probably trying to scare people away. I'm probably as someone who does hold a Raiders plus 10 in their pocket, I probably just ate the public dog, and that's fine. But the reality is that this Ravens team should get right. Total is low too, which is the one reason why I look at anything. Total is 40 or 41 and a half.
And a 9-point spread.
And a 9-point spread. So 25% of the points you could get, 25% of the game, you basic total you already have in pocket. What do you have an angle on the total or anything?
So as a wise man once told me, a high spread and a low total means the bookmakers are thinking blowout. Listen, if I'm gonna recommend Ravens minus 13.5 on the alt line, this game isn't gonna be 17-10. So could the Ravens score 30? I mean, listen, last week the Raiders scored 10 at the Chargers, and our defense is better than the Chargers. So I'd lean over, saying the bookmakers are basically telling you over, because this can easily be 33. This can easily be 33.
No, that's the score that I have in my head. Honestly, you could probably do a really good SGP of Ravens by whatever and the under, or Ravens by whatever and under with an alt, and it could totally work. But yeah,
if you want the under in this game, you might as well just bet the Raiders money.
33-10, 40 for over 43 is plus 108. I would totally. Also, Gardner Minshew was the fifth highest passing quarterback last week, and basically will just continue to throw the ball nonstop. By the way, for what it's worth, last 10 games for the Ravens, 6 out of their last 10 games have gone over 43. I mean, they actually cruise over this 41 pretty much without a problem. Yeah, this is that. Okay, what do you think on prop wise? For me, I have a my prop that I like on this, and it's really just based around being plus money. Every week I look for like a plus money interception, and I see Lamar Jackson at plus 110 for an interception. And I know he doesn't get a lot of them because he doesn't necessarily throw a lot of them, but he had 2 turnover worthy plays last week. Sometimes things get crazy. I don't like the Ravens O-line, and I could see some pass rush and some things that happen, but plus money on a Lamar interception, which does not necessarily mean a bad game, but that's something that I like as a prop for this game.
Yeah. I'm actually a big fan of taking interception props against elite quarterbacks because they're usually plus money. And it's like, they're never not going to throw a pick. You know, I wanted to bet Mahomes pick on Thursday and I chickened out and he threw one. It's like, there it is.
There it is.
So like Lamar doesn't throw that many interceptions, but every so often Lamar gets in this, all right, I got to do everything myself, and does something, tries to do a little bit too much, and he throws a pick. And then, you can see that here. So like for plus money, I'm not against props on my side. Listen, it's juice like a mug, but I am going to, until it is ridiculous, until it is Aaron Judge levels of unprofitable of juice, Derrick Henry anytime touchdown. Because when this team gets in, Lamar doesn't. When this team gets close, Lamar doesn't run it in. They give it to the running back. It's right now it's minus. It's only
go ahead. Sorry, no, go. I was just looking at the pricing.
No, I was saying like I thought I saw like minus 180.
It's only minus 180, which I think you and I can both agree that the probability is much higher than 180 that he's getting a touchdown.
Yes, I think I not listen. Put it to you this way: by next week, the only time you'll be betting on Derrick Henry touchdowns is if you're putting them in a parlay, because if he scores again, it's going to be minus 225. I also think Derrick Henry, I wonder what his over on yards is, because I don't think Lamar running the ball 16 times a game is not sustainable. And Derrick Henry, I believe, only had 9 carries in the game. Yes, no, he had 13.
46 yards. 13 carries, but it felt like a lot of those were probably in the first half. It felt like the usage changed after they got up and they did whatever.
Exactly. The one thing I'll say about the Ravens is that they don't play very well down when they're behind. Our head coach loves to panic and piss down his leg when he's down by more than 8 points. I'm not bitter. So I keep that in mind. The other prop I'd keep in mind, and you alluded to this with the Ravens shaky offensive line, is our sacks. Obviously, I'm gonna assume Max Crosby's sack is gonna be like minus 130 or something like that.
Let's look, man. Wait, we can find it. I don't know if the sack. It may not be up yet. Here's sack props. Let me just see.
I was trying to.
I like that too. Yeah, they may not be up yet. But that's a good names angle.
To keep in mind. Some names to keep in mind. For obviously there's Max Crosby. I'm looking at. I had this up here for who they were playing. Adam Butler. So Adam Butler is the backup. He's one of the backup defensive tackles.
Okay.
But he actually had a pressure. He had 3 pressures yesterday against the Chargers. Basically, what I try to do is I say, all right, the best guy on the line is either going to be at a prohibitive number. It's probably going to be a prohibitive number, or he gets double teamed. So who's going to eat? But then again, Max Crosby might not be a bad idea anyway, because last week the Ravens, in their infinite wisdom, had Justice Hill blocking Chris Jones down the stretch. Right. Pro Bowl, All Pro Chris Jones. So definitely there will be sacks in this game from the Raiders side.
We should look at I don't have it on here, but we should look at total sacks the game over. That's a fun one that Allie used to like. Over, like, I think that's on DraftKings. I don't have it over here, but like over 2.5 sacks or whatever for the game. It's probably a good one. It's actually, I really like that. If we can find that, maybe alt that for total team sacks. Yeah, I'd agree. I think that I mean, that's the thing, is that Gardner Minshew is going to roll out and try to do his thing, and then he's just going to get slammed on the ground. Like, the Raiders are not a good team, but they're also, like last week we talked about this, like, I didn't downgrade them based on how they played. They had 3 turnovers. So, another thing I would probably look at is I know this Ravens team isn't really a like ball hawk team the last 2 years. They've been good. They just haven't been real ball hockey. I still like it just because of Minshew. You can get like, whether it's a Hamilton INT as a specific player or something like that, because if this game corresponds to a blowout in your eyes, then that's going to definitely happen because that's going to basically keep the Raiders out of scoring probability.
So what I would say is, because right now Minshew throw a pick is minus 145.
Ooh.
I would, when he throws the first one, live bet him, especially if it's in the first half, live bet him to throw another one, because then that'll be more reasonable odds. You might even get plus money on that. But to your point, like you said, they're down, they're throwing, they're trying to make, they're down, like I said, they're down 33-10. They're trying to make a play. He throws a pick in the end zone. That's your second interception. I think Kyle Hamilton's a good shout, obviously as the safety. If you want to pick a defensive player. But I absolutely keep my eye on, if you have a book that lets you bet 2 interceptions by the quarterback, I take that. If not, like for example, I live in New York State, which is one of the 5 worst states for betting from a betting standpoint. The things that are not available to us in this state are ridiculous. But that's what happens when we let non-gamblers make gamblers rules. I digress. So if you're in a state like New York where you can only bet interceptions, you let them throw the first one, and then you bet them for the second. Then you live bet them for the second one.
No, I like it. There's also if you're not in New York State, because again, New York State won't allow it, but like Underdog has like the player interceptions, so you could probably there's some good correlations that we've discussed through this that like you could do, Derrick Henry touchdown and a Kyle Hamilton interception is a great underdog play. Like that's a great, like those are great ways also to like bring down the Derrick Henry juice and make an underdog play of 2 pick. I'd do it that way. Cool, man. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. I just want to talk to you about. So final score prediction from your end is what?
38-14.
Oh wow, that's a big. That's.
I think this goes over. I think we kick their ass, and everyone's like, "All right, the Ravens aren't in trouble. Let's calm down. Let's settle down." I would say this will be a Raven smash spot. But they won't be looking but they won't be looking. I don't think they're gonna look past this team, especially at home. Next week they go to Dallas. I'll be there actually.
Oh, really?
But yeah.
That's awesome.
I've never been to Jerry World, and I've been waiting 12 years to go.
I've never been in it. I've seen it outside. It's one of the biggest things I've ever seen.
That's what she said.
Ginormous.
I'm such a child.
Dude, we can do anything on this show. It's great. I love it.
But yeah, I think this is the Ravens will cover. The Ravens, I think, listen, 2 touchdowns at minimum. The Raiders may get like a cheap touchdown, like, to make it like 38-17. But I'm going with like 30. Yeah, it'll be like 38-10 going into the fourth.
All right. So Shawn, tell everybody where they can find you.
All right. You can find me on that toxic, terrible app called X. I call it Twitter's. Mama called it Twitter. I'm gonna call it Twitter at Shawn for W_. How do you spell Shawn? Literally with a W. You can also catch me on Nick's Film School. We don't do as much stuff during the summertime, but we're gonna start ramping back up within the next few weeks. I'm on once a week. I host spaces called KFS Study Hall on the weekends. We do live game. We watch games live. So you can follow us at Nick's Film School on Twitter at Nick Film School, spelled with a K, SKOOL. And that's it. And you could, like I said, you can find me on Twitter, trolling people, spouting foolishness, sending memes,
keeping receipts. The greatest.
And keeping receipts.
Practically an accountant, the way this dude keeps receipts.
Yeah. I just, the petty in me. My therapist says I should get over it. I should be better at it, but I'm working on it.
As good as mine, but I don't do that either. So I said that to somebody else. Someone said to me, if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. I said, yeah, if you're wrong, I'll drag you. And then they responded with, yeah, I know how you work. All right. So for Shawn, I'm Adam. Thanks for coming by. Good luck with your bets this weekend. We gave you a bunch of stuff for the Ravens game. We will see you next week.